Good morning everyone. Welcome back to the online classes of geography, and the topic that we are going to discuss today, it is a peninsular river system from the chapter the drainage system of India. So in this chapter, the drainage system of India, we have come to know the drainage system of India. It is divided into two broad divisions, that is a Himalayan river system and the peninsular river system. And about the Himalayan river system, we have already discussed in our previous class. Today we are going to discuss about the peninsular river system, the second division of the drainage system of India. So without wasting our time, let us begin our today's class. Peninsular river system consists of rivers that flow in Peninsula India. From the name itself, we can find it out that a river that flow in the Peninsula India, it is known as a peninsular river system. As we all know, a southern part of India is known as peninsula. Why? Because it is surrounded by water on its three sides. On its left hand side, what we have? We have Arabian Sea. On its right hand side, which sea we have? What is the name of water bodies? Bay of Bengal. And on its southern part, on the southern part of India, we have Indian Ocean. So these are the three water bodies that surrounds India and makes the southern part of India a peninsula India. So the peninsular river system consists of river that originate in the Western Ghat. Most of the river of peninsular India originate in the Western Ghat and flow in which direction? West to east direction, and flow in west to east direction and join which water bodies? Bay of Bengal are Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. These are the four important rivers of Peninsula India that flow in west to east direction and joins Bay of Bengal and forming a deltas at the mouth of a river. So when this river, Peninsula river, originate in the Western Ghat and join Bay of Bengal, and at the mouth of a river they forms a delta. Triangular shape of land that is formed by the deposition of sand, silt and clay at the mouth of a river. Mouth of a river, it is a place where the river goes and mixes with the sea or an ocean. And there are some more rivers that we have in the Peninsula India which originate in the Western Ghat but join Bay of Bengal, and these rivers flow in which direction? East to west. The river that originate in the Western Ghat and flow in east to west direction are Narmada and Tapi. So these are the two rivers that we have in Peninsula India that originate in the Western Ghat, flow in east to west direction and goes and mix with Arabian Sea. The landform formed by the east flowing river are deltas and the landform formed by the west flowing rivers are estuaries. The river of Peninsula India, it has divided itself into two broad divisions according to the direction they flow. They are known as east flowing river and west flowing rivers. The important major river that flow towards the east and join Bay of Bengal, they are Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. And important west flowing river are Narmada and Tapi. So these are the river that flow towards the east in Peninsular India and towards the west in Peninsular India. Students, you may get a question on this topic. Name the west flowing rivers of Peninsular India. So, name the west flowing rivers of Peninsular India, that is Narmada and Tapi. And name the east flowing river of Peninsular India, it is Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. If they are asking any two, you write any two. If they are asking any one, you can write any one. So now let us discuss about the west flowing river of Peninsular India in detail. So there are two west flowing rivers in Peninsular India. They are Narmada and Tapi. Narmada and Tapi. These are the major river that flow towards the west and join Arabian Sea. So river Narmada, the river Narmada, it rises in Amarkantak in Madhya Pradesh. River Narmada rises in Amarkantak in Madhya Pradesh and flow westward. The river rises in Amarkantak in Madhya Pradesh. The river Narmada rises in Amarkantak in Madhya Pradesh and flow westward for a distance of 1300 km. And finally empty itself in Arabian Sea, forming a landform which is known as estuaries. So a river Narmada rises in Amarkantak in Madhya Pradesh, flow westward for the distance of 1300 km, and finally it emptied itself in Arabian Sea, forming a landform which is known as estuaries. Now let us discuss about the another west flowing river of Peninsular India, that is Tapi. Tapi, it rises in Betul district of Madhya Pradesh. Both the Narmada and Tapi rises in Madhya Pradesh. But the name of a place is different. Narmada rise in Amarkantak, whereas Tapi rise in Betul district of Madhya Pradesh. Flow westward. This river also, Tapi also flow westward like that of Narmada for the distance of 724 km. Tapi flow for the distance of 724 km, more or less parallel to river Narmada. This river Tapi also flow westward, more or less river Tapi flow parallel to river Narmada. So these two are the important west flowing river of Peninsular India. Apart from these two rivers, there are other minor rivers that flow towards the west. They are Sabarmati, Mahi, Chambal, Sindh, Betwa. So these are the name of a minor river that we have in Peninsular India. They flow towards the west. But the important major river, it is Narmada and Tapi. So this was about the west flowing river. Now let us discuss about the east flowing river of India in detail. As you can see on the board, the name of a river, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. So these are the four major rivers that flow in which direction? West to east direction. These rivers originate in the Western Ghat and flow in west to east direction and join Bay of Bengal. Students, the name of east flowing river and west flowing river, it is very important. You may get a short question in your board exam, so it must be there in your mind. Got it? Okay. Now let us discuss this east flowing river one by one. So as you can see, the first river, it is Mahanadi. The source of Mahanadi lies in the northern foothills. So the source of a river Mahanadi lies in northern foothills of Raipur district. Northern foothills of Raipur district in Chhattisgarh. The source of a river Mahanadi lies in northern foothills of Raipur district in Chhattisgarh. It flows through Orissa, and this river flows through Orissa and join Bay of Bengal. And the length of a river is 857 km. So the length of a river is 857 kilometer. So this was about the Mahanadi. Now let us move on to the another river that we have. It is Godavari. So Godavari, it is one of the largest and the longest river that we have in Peninsular India. Once again I repeat, Godavari, it is the largest and the longest river that we have in Peninsular India. It is also known as Dakshin Ganga or Vridha Ganga. You may also get a short question. The question will be in this way. Which river is known as Dakshin Ganga? The name of a river is Godavari. Which river is known as Vridha Ganga? The name of a river is Godavari. Got it? Okay. Now see here, it is the largest of all peninsular river. So among all these peninsular river, Godavari, it is the largest. It rises in the Nasik district of Maharashtra. So where is the source of river Godavari? Nasik district of Maharashtra and join Bay of Bengal in Andhra Pradesh. This river Godavari rise in the Nasik district of Maharashtra and join Bay of Bengal in which state? Andhra Pradesh. Its total length is 1465 km. So what is the length of the river Godavari? 1465 km. The Godavari is referred as Vridha Ganga or Dakshin Ganga. The Godavari, the river Godavari, which is the largest river of all peninsular river. It is also known as Vridha Ganga or Dakshin Ganga. Why? What is the reason? Because of its large size and extent. Like that of river Ganga, it has a large size and extent. So that's why this Godavari is known as Vridha Ganga or Dakshin Ganga. You may get a question on this topic also. Which river is known as Dakshin Ganga and why is it so? So the reason is because of large size and extent. Like that of Ganga river, it has a large size and extent. Got it? Okay. So this was about the river Godavari. Now let us discuss about the river Krishna. The third east flowing river of Peninsular India, it is the river Krishna. The river Krishna, it rises from a spring near Mahabaleshwar. The river Krishna, it rises from spring near Mahabaleshwar and the total length of this river is 1400 km. River Krishna, it is considered as the fourth biggest river of India after Ganga, Brahmaputra and Godavari. So when we talk about the whole India, river Krishna, it is considered as the fourth longest river of India. And when we talk about only Peninsular India east flowing river, then it is second longest river of Peninsular India. Got it? Okay. Now let us move on to the another east flowing river of Peninsular India. It is the river Kaveri. River Kaveri, it rises in the Western Ghat. The river Kaveri, it rises in the Western Ghat and flow for how many kilometer? 800 kilometer to join Bay of Bengal near Kaveri Patnam. So the river Kaveri join Bay of Bengal in a place Kaveri Patnam. So this river Kaveri, it also receives water from rainfall. So in summer, it receives water from southwest monsoon throughout the year, and in winter it receives water from northeast retreating monsoon. So this was about the east flowing river of Peninsular India. So now let us move on to the last topic of the chapter, that is the differences between the Himalayan river system and the Peninsular river system. As we all know, Himalayan river system and the Peninsular river system are the two broad divisions of the drainage system of India, and the differences between these two is very important. Students, you may get a question on this topic as well. So let us go through it. Himalayan river system. Some of the longest river belongs to the Himalayan river system. So some of the longest river, almost most of the longest river of India belongs to the Himalayan river system, whereas peninsular river system do not consist of the longest river like that of the Himalayan river consist of. The longest river of India, it is Ganga. So the river Ganga, it is located in Himalayan river system or peninsular river system. The river Ganga, it is located in Himalayan river system. That is why it is said in the first differences that some of the longest river belongs to the Himalayan river system, whereas peninsular river system does not consist of the longest river like that of the Himalayan river. Got it? Now let us move on to the second differences. Catchment area is large in Himalayan river system. The catchment area, it is larger in the Himalayan river system, whereas in the peninsular river system the catchment area is smaller than the Himalayan river system. Now let us move on to the third differences. The third differences is Himalayan river system consists of a large number of rivers. So Himalaya give rise to a large number of rivers, whereas peninsula of India does not give rise to a large number of rivers. Got it? Okay. Fourth differences, it forms deep gorges. So the Himalayan river, when they flow in the mountain region, so they flow deep gorges, and the deep gorges, it is utilized for generating electricity. So the water that flow in these deep gorges, these water are utilized for generating electricity, because out here the speed of the water is high, whereas the peninsular river, it flow in the shallow valley and these water are not utilized for generating electricity. And the sixth differences, it is the river useful for irrigation and navigation. So the river of Himalaya, they are useful for irrigation as well as navigation, whereas the river of peninsular India, it is not much suitable for irrigation and navigation. The water of peninsular river system, it is utilized for irrigation, but when we compare with the Himalayan river system, the Himalayan river water is used for irrigation as well as navigation. Peninsular river water is also useful for irrigation as well as navigation, but when you compare, Himalayan river system is much more utilized for irrigation as well as navigation. Now let us move on to the last differences. The last differences says these rivers represent antecedent drainage. The river that we have in the Himalayas, they represent an antecedent drainage pattern, whereas the peninsular river system, they represent a consequent drainage pattern. So this was about the differences between the Himalayan river system and peninsular river system, and it was the last topic of the chapter, the drainage system of India. So this was about the today's class. In next week we will start with a new chapter. Till then, stay home, stay safe, take care.